Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Readiness and the Time of the Shift. This is the end of the year, and if you're like me, this is a time for you to evaluate your successes and your failures. As we know, the frequency of the new earth, the rising frequency, is about truth, transparency, and authenticity. The resisting energy is about fear, selfishness, and personal agendas. So if you're aligning yourself and allowing your consciousness to remain in the status quo, lessons will come to you, growth will come to you by karma. And at this point, as I explained before, lessons by karma are extremely painful. It's forced upon you, and you have to learn it whether you want it or not. Whereas if you're doing the Dantian meditation, which I had shown you in previous videos how to do on a daily basis for about 15 minutes, you will learn by grace. The interesting thing for me, on a personal note, is that typically speaking, in one lifetime, an individual will have maybe one or two epiphanies, fundamentally changing moments that make you realize something that you were blinded to. This year alone, I had over 15 of them, okay, because of this Dantian meditation. And so I very gradually and slowly begin to realize things about myself that I was blinded to, that I didn't know were there, through the process of this meditation. So I highly recommend that you go back and take a look at it if you have not yet already, and that you begin to allow change to come to you by reconciling with yourself. The enemy is not without. Whatever in the outside that seems to trigger you, whatever that you strongly oppose, actually exists within you. Fragments of it, parts of it exist in you. The world is a mirror. So as such, you need to figure out what is the linchpin and the trigger point that's catalyzing you into having strong belief one way or another, or preference one way or another. So I have been doing this, and I've learned quite a bit about myself. And I highly recommend that going forward for this year, as you're planning out, strategizing what's going to happen for the next year, that you continue to process these reconciliation moment with yourself. We are masters of self-deceit. We lie to ourselves all the time. So to be able to actually see yourself in a different light is phenomenal. And I can tell you that my clients, my students, have benefited tremendously from this process. It's not an easy process by any means, because you have to look at yourself in a very different way. You have to analyze yourself and see yourself in a light that may not be favorable for you. And you're going to discover stuff about yourself that are not attractive initially. But I don't want to make you believe or characterize that the Dantian process is all about dealing with discomfort, because some part of it is actually very comfortable. There are moments right after you figure something out and you realize some major breakthroughs. There are several days and weeks where you're standing in awe over the significance and the power of this breakthrough. And there is incredible joy and incredible sense of empowerment that comes from this. So yes, there is a moment when you're about to approach the blind spot that feels very uncomfortable, but soon to follow is a moment of unbelievable empowerment and unbelievable sense of discovery of self, and more importantly, of owning who you are and fully living your life. I recommend this particularly now that the year's end is approaching. You should be evaluating what happened this year that just passed and beginning to figure out the successes and the failures, and more importantly, begin to plan the year ahead. What are the goals that you're setting for yourself? Where are you going? What are you trying to achieve? And how do you get from where you are right now to that goal? okay? Whatever that goal may be for you, all right? So for me, the most important part as a spiritual teacher is that throughout all these processes or spiritual practice that I established, that my personal relationship to my Creator, my God, however I conceives it to be, is the most important thing. I want to make sure that I am aligned with that. And more importantly, that I'm allowing throughout that year, as it had happened the year before, this year just passed, that my God concept, my idea of who this God is, evolved and grew. And similarly, that in the year to come, that I am allowing my God, because you see, the point is, if God is infinite, it cannot be a static point. It has to be evolutionary. It has to be something that's constantly expanding and growing, and that you're allowing to constantly grow and expand. So if you're holding for dear life because of fear or dogma and religious belief, that I'm not going to allow my concept, my understanding of where God is to expand, except as I was prescribed it by some holy book to be, you are not getting truth. You are not being authentic. So not only is your perception of yourself in your dantian, which is the pelvic area, going to expand, but even your God concept is going to expand as well. I remember at one point I had a breakthrough where I began to realize that my God concept, there was I heard during my dantian moment, a concept that came into me that says that God was infinity times infinity. And I remember how it blew my head, because I'm like, what the hell is, what is that concept of infinity times infinity? How big, how do you measure this? And my mind began, if you could almost see smoke coming out of my ears, because I couldn't comprehend and process what that was. So my God concept took a giant leap forward to realize that the infinitude of that creative force. So I'm encouraging you to not only do the dantian process, but to allow yourself to continue to expand and grow by understanding that the world is a mirror. Whatever it is in the outside that you're trying to achieve that seems to resist you and seem to cause you aches and pain exists within you. Whatever causes you either personally or planetarily to be the most agitated exists within you. And how do you have to go within to actually discover where that resides in you. And the moment you reconcile that, the outside become less of an irritant. You've learned your lesson. So the discomfort is a friend. It's a guidepost. It's an opportunity to grow. And as you go into it, it allows you to discover more things about yourself. Okay? Throughout all of this, you will have to change very rapidly. There's a concept called spiritual agility, and that you need to have. That is, you cannot be comfortable, because if you're having so many breakthroughs, usually, typically speaking, in a lifetime, 2 or 3 epiphanies, and then you adjust your the new version of yourself. It's like a software upgrade. The new version, then you adjust yourself to that new version. You try to assimilate it and process it, and then you may have another one. But if it's in 1 year, you're having 15 or 20 of those, you are going to grow so quickly that you have to be very agile. You have to be able to move from one version to the next and not set up root and complete foundation in the current version, because something else is behind it. We are moving right now, because of the galactic equator crossing, to a period that the galactic masters are calling the quickening. Everything is accelerated. So in this acceleration, the way we process information has to also be accelerated. So keep in mind spiritual agility. Okay? I'm going to do a small prayer with you. Lord, give me the courage to look within, the bravery to understand that the discomfort is my friend. Show me the patience to accept that I am not perfect, and more importantly, the acceptance that I am a work in process and I will continue to evolve and grow. Show me how to reconcile with myself and find a new version of me that will allow me to become a better vessel for the creation of your kingdom on earth. Amen. Happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah. Whatever you're celebrating, may it be merry, may you find joy. If you like this video, just give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It is my hope to hear from you again very soon, just by leaving comments and letting me know what you think. May you be blessed. Thank you very much.